Wow. That's really all I could say walking out of the cinema after being captivated for the best part of 2 hours by this film. Hi, my name is Tommy, and this is my spoiler-free Deadpool movie review. I'm going to start by saying I actually managed to avoid seeing any trailers to this film prior to watching it, which, given Fox Studios' extremely effective marketing campaign, I think is pretty impressive that I was able to go into this one blind. And I have a real issue with trailers ruining movies by showing you the best bits. But anyway, so I was able to go into this one blind. But I am familiar with Deadpool and his comic book adventures or misadventures, however you want to look at it. But when a movie has this much hype, I find you rarely leave the cinema impressed because, frankly, your expectations far outweigh what the commercial execution of the film could ever have been. Ryan Reynolds' portrayal of our anti-hero protagonist was fantastic. It's often strange when you're accustomed to a character in print and all of a sudden that character is in live action and has a real voice. So I never really pictured Reynolds' voice attached to the character. So despite his appearance as Wade Wilson or Weapon X in the X-Men Origins Wolverine film. But after a few lines of dialogue, my expectation was adjusted, and now I can't imagine it any other way. Right from the start, you're drawn in. Whether it's the cheesy one-liners or the fast-paced, gruesome action scenes, or even the unusual title sequence, which I must say is the best, hands-down title sequence I've ever seen, in my opinion. But the excitement stays with you, and the movie just doesn't leave you waiting. So I will warn you, though, this movie is not for the squeamish, and it's not for those lacking a sense of humour or personality. Having said that, what I found really amazing on reflection of the film, after I'd been away from it for a little while, is that I realised that the story was really quite thin, and it didn't even matter. I was so enthralled with the characters and the storytelling and what was happening that I just didn't care. I didn't care that there was no story, or the fact that, you know, this story has essentially been told before in other superhero films as their origin stories, and it's all just sort of mashed in together. But it was done in a Deadpool way, and it was brilliant, you know. But this film, I mean, the way it was written, the way it was directed, the way it was acted, you could have had Deadpool serving chimichangas out of a van all day, and you probably still would have had an amazing night out entertainment. This doesn't feel like an X-Men film, but technically it is. It exists in the same Fox Studios Marvel universe as the Wolverine and X-Men films. Deadpool does the one thing that I hated about the entire X-Men series since X2, and that is ignore the writing and the story of the previous movies for the sake of making the new film entertaining. Hate's a strong word, but that is how I feel about it. Having said that, I need to say that this story needed to be that. Because for any of you that have seen X-Men Origins Wolverine, I'm sure you can agree that you had nowhere to go with the atrocity that was Wade Wilson from that film. So Deadpool being Deadpool, he knows that he's a fictional character. So the inconsistency is just another opportunity for a laugh, to throw a cheap joke in there, which, you know, we all need to see. I can't really say much more without throwing spoilers at you, but I'll sum it up like this. I loved it. I'm a huge fan of the modern superhero film. This is not that. I have nothing but praise for director Tim Miller, the entire acting class, but specifically Ryan Reynolds. This is a career-defining moment. And also, you got to praise the writers here as well, who have taken a character and a property that is so loved and adored by its fans. And on top of that, there is this excessive anticipation for this film, and they just delivered in gratuitous style. So the result is, if you're a superhero movie buff, comedy lover, action fanatic, and anyone who is open to just being entertained, go out and see this movie. It is a must. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.